Just breathe. That's my job, Prez. That's my job. The job is to make us all laugh. I know. I don't know what happened. Andy said he didn't hear me yesterday either. I don't know what happened. All right, Prez. Coming down. You hear me say? Coming down. In 3, 2, 1. You are live.
Just you wait, everybody. Tokyo Brandon. He is making a appearance on this show, and we're going to take a deep dive into some MLB. Yes, baseball right around the corner. Brandon Siefkin's got 3 MLB future bets for us and some tips on how to bet spring baseball. We got Andy Lang after that with a bunch of prop bets. Dave Mason from Bet Online joining us. And Gianni The Greek at the end of the show. Now, I know Brandon is first, but is there any way we can get Andy on the screen before Brandon? Andy Lang.
You can. Why?
Yeah, why not? Why not? Let's throw the show into some disarray. So, Andy, we spoke yesterday about how great the off-air conversations are on this show. And one of our listeners said, you should allow all season pass holders access to the 5 minutes that happened before this show begins. So
yes, I have been saying this for years that we should sell a package that allows people to come into the green room while we're doing this. But Kyle Anthony yesterday had it right. Anybody that has a year pass should have free access to come in to the pre-production. That is absolutely the way we should do it. This is not even a suggestion. This is a must happen.
So Andy, just so I don't get in trouble, why don't you tell everybody what we were talking about off air?
Okay. So Brandon made the comment about that he has never been propositioned by another man. And I said that is absolutely 100% impossible. There is no way that Brandon has gone through his entire life without being propositioned by another guy. He just didn't know it while it was happening. It is statistically impossible to not have another guy have hit on you at some point in your life.
So with that said, tell us your stories, everybody. I got offered $500 when I was 26. I turned it down. I tried to negotiate for $700. He wouldn't budge. Kind of a pun in there. Anyway, I pointed out to Andy, it's because of the way Tokyo Brandon looks like. So, guys, if you want to know what Danny Zuko looks like 40 years after Greece, ladies and gentlemen, Tokyo Brandon. What's up, my brother? Peace.
Baseball's back.
Dude, honestly, how cool. You are the...
Baby, have a car. Tell me more. Tell me more.
Okay.
To get very fun. Okay. Yep.
Oh, my God. The show has fallen off the rails. Something to do with the host, Prez. Tokyo, it's always great to see you, brother, and you are the coolest cat around. We've got spring training coming right in front of us. Why don't we start there, and then we'll get into some future bets. What is it? I know spring training is an amazing... Look, all the people who bet preseason NFL swear by it. Same with hockey, same with baseball. There's a lot of betting opportunity in springtime ball. Tell us what strategies we should look for when betting springtime baseball.
Okay, spring's right around the corner. Nice to be back on the show. This is my 2005 debut. I'm plus 47 units so far in 2025. So number 2 in the total rankings. I'll be number 1 soon, as I was last year. Spring ball. How do we bet it? Spring ball is quite interesting because, as you know, in baseball, a lot of weight is put on starting pitching in baseball. But in spring ball, the starters rarely go past 2 innings. It's just they're just practicing. They don't really care if they win or not. So spring ball is mainly based on bullpens and farm systems because your starters are pulled after 2 innings. It's a bullpen game. It's a backup starters game. And they're really trying to see their young talent, who they're going to bring up and who they're going to leave down. So I have some formulas that I use in spring ball. But overall, the advice is underdogs all the way, because the books will overprice good starting pitching who's only going to be in the game for 2 innings. Spring ball, I have a formula that I use for bullpen plus farm system plus starting pitching, and I put that in a little formula, mash it up, and generally you'll get a lot of underdogs. The Chicago White Sox, definitely the worst team in baseball, have a really good farm system, so they can come up, win quite a bit in spring training. So it's underdogs all the way in the spring. Underdogs all the way.
Underdog betting. What about total betting? Do you take a look at that at all in spring training?
Rarely, and a few books even offer it. Mostly for spring, almost every book is money line only. Very rarely do you get to bet a total, but some books do offer it. I never bet it because spring is so unpredictable. It's unpredictable as far as how many runs are going to be scored, but it is kind of predictable. If you have the better farm team and the better bullpen, you're usually going to win the games. But totals, little too unpredictable to take.
Tokyo Brandon joining us, guys. If you want to make money, you buy his baseball. End of story. Tokyo, do you have a promo up, or do you have a season baseball package out there?
Absolutely. I have a short term and a long term. So the long term is my MLB plus KBO plus Japanese baseball, all rolled together for 55% off, all season, all access. That's on my page at WagerTalk.com with no coupon code needed. And WagerTalk also has made a 3-day pass that's good all year long, anytime during the season. 3-day pass for $39 if you use the promo code TB3.
Yeah, TB3, everyone. Take advantage of that. And to the guys who are talking about my 5% play, we'll talk about that right after Tokyo, Brandon. So, Brandon, you've got 3 baseball future bets for us. Tell us what they are, and should we bet them now or should we wait?
Absolutely bet them now. So the first one I'm going to talk about is actually plus 2,000. You don't find a lot of plus 2,000 bets around very much, but when I bet it, it was plus 2,800. But now is the time to jump on it. Here's a quick quiz. Do you know what team has the most regular season wins in the history of MLB, and how many wins was it? Put it in the chat. I'll give you the answer. I'll give you the answer right now. It was the Mariners. They won in 2001. Ichiro's Mariners won 116 games. Depending on what book you use, you can find a will the Dodgers win the regular season all-time wins record of 117 wins. And the yes on that is, when I bet it, to plus 2,800. But now it's plus 2,000 at the book I use. So if you can find that prop somewhere, it's a really good one, because the Dodgers they've improved a lot. Let's put it that way. And last year, they went through the season with a ragtag rotation. Their rotation was some guy named Grove, some guy named Knack, and they had Jack Flaherty, Yamamoto, and Glasnow. Glasnow got injured. Like I said, some guy named Grove and some guy named Knack basically got him to 98 wins last season. This season, their rotation is Glasnow, Yamamoto, Ohtani, Snell, and Sasaki. That's quite an upgrade for the rotation, where the hitting has really not been degraded much at all, because they were able to re-sign Teoscar Hernandez. So I think, when you're this good, when you're historically good, you have obviously the World Series to look forward to, but when you start winning, if you have 60 wins at spring break, you start talking, hey, we can break a record here. And I think that's what's going to happen this year. Ohtani, the rumors are he's not going to start pitching until May or June, or maybe even after the All-Star break, but he will be pitching. But even if Ohtani doesn't pitch, the Dodgers have a 7-man deep rotation. I mean, Glasnow, they signed Blake Snell. They have Sasaki. They have Grove and Knack from last year's rotation. They have Derek May. They have Clayton Kershaw if they want to use them in middle rotation. They just signed the number 2 closer in all of baseball, Tanner Scott from the Padres. Yeah. I mean, they're just loaded. Kirby Yates, they just signed 3 days ago. Kirby Yates is very underrated as a middle relief too. I mean, this team is just incredible. Plus 2,000, take the Dodgers to win the most regular season games in the history of MLB at 117. Great future bet.
There we go, a plus 2,000 future bet. And you've got two more for us as well. And I'm guessing neither are going to be in that type of money range.
No. So the next one is the Dodgers to win the World Series. So I'll talk short on it, but it's plus 300 depending on your book, plus 280, something like that. But this team, as I've just outlined, they're just loaded to the hilt with talent. World Series is all about pitching. So if you have a 7-deep rotation, the second best closer in all of baseball, and a great, they got Gatorall, they got Kirby Yates, tons of middle relief, and their batting hasn't been dented almost at all since last season. Actually, they've added a couple of small pieces to their hitting. So the Dodgers to win the World Series at plus 300, I think, is excellent value. So these future bets are great bets to put, I wouldn't say pizza money, but, $100 on each one, and, $100 at plus 2,000, nice little payout if the Dodgers win 117 games or if they win the World Series. It's a nice little payout.
There you go. Tokyo Brandon, a huge fan of the LA Dodgers. Is the third bet LA Dodgers makes the World Series? Is that what that one is?
We're not talking about the Dodgers now. We'll talk about another team that gets talked about a lot, which is the Yankees. They just signed Max Fried from the Atlanta Braves. One of the Braves' best pitchers, probably their second best pitcher, and he's going to slot into the number 2 in the rotation behind Garrett Cole for the Yankees. But the future I like for him is to get over 155 strikeouts. So his season strikeout is 155 and a half, and this is why I like it. Over his career, Fried averages 6.07 strikeouts per start. So if he goes per average, if he gets 26 starts this season, he should go over 155 strikeouts. 4 of his last 6 seasons, he has gone over that. And the odds for this is minus 110. So Max Fried over 155 strikeouts is my last future for MLB. Minus 110, great number. This number may have moved since I bet it, but anything 160 or less, I would go the over on Max Fried's season strikeouts.
Wonderful stuff, my brother. I'm glad baseball is right around the corner. We're going to see lots more of Tokyo Brandon.
I'll wear some fur and a hat next time.
You wear whatever you want, Tokyo. I'm all for your flashy Herb Tarlick outfits. Now, how's that for an old man reference? Tokyo Brandon, everyone. We got a great show still lined up. We got Andy Lang coming on with some prop bets. He's also going to look at some golf. A prop on Rory McIlroy coming your way. We've also got Dave Mason from Bet Online. We'll do a quick 100-mile-an-hour Super Bowl recap, and we'll focus on where the money is going in basketball and see how the betting is going for the Four Nations Cup. We're going to end the show with Gianni The Greek. If you guys like what you're hearing, please take a second out of your day and just hit that like button. Greatly appreciated. Couple of things I'd like to address before we get into it. Firstly, I had a 5% play last night on the over in Austin P. It lost. It would lost by, I think, 7 or 8 points. Really, Florida Gulf scored 80 points 5 games in a row, and last night they had a terrible shooting percentage, 46 from the floor, 25 from the 3-point line. We just couldn't get it there. It was a blowout, and we needed those fouls late. I'm obviously gutted and sorry. I feel terrible for all of you guys who bet your hard-earned money on that. But I do want to say one thing, and we had a listener jump into the chat room. Mario, thank you for being here and listening to the show. He writes, never will I get Prez's CBB again. Awful. Brother, I'm now 8-3 in 5% college basketball plays in the last 4 years. 8-3. I cannot win every single one of them. I hope, for all of our sakes, that I go 8-3 in the next 11 college basketball plays. These things happen. And another gentleman who mentions that I'm known for my NHL. Yes, I am. with that said, my college hoops destroyed my NHL both last year and the year before, and same with my NBA. So I know what I'm doing in all of these sports. We had a bad night last night, and it happens, and I'm sorry about that. But we move on, we bounce back, and we look to get some winners going tonight. The other thing is, Andrew Wodge writes, I'm not making a futures bet at plus 300, tying up my money for a 3-1 bet. Wodge, DM me privately, brother, and tell me what stocks you're buying or where you're putting your money, where you get a 3-1 return every 6 months. I'm in. We can go halvesies. I'll give you $1 million. I will literally put $1 million on any stock that you can give me that will do better than 3-1 over a 6-month period. Because from my perspective, that is an unfreaking believable return. So you guys have perspective. Over the last 117 years, if you put your money on the S&P index, it will double every 7.2 years. Tokyo Brandon got on the show and gave you a triple in 6 months. Andy Lang joining us, everyone. Andy, how are you?
Can I piggyback on the futures thing?
Please,
I think
please.
I think it's one of the most missed markets in the betting industry. I just pulled up my last 365 days. 49 and 18 for plus 49.5 units on futures. That is how you build a bankroll. That is incredible return. I love future bets, especially in some of the fringe sports, but I know Teddy does a great job with his NFL futures.
Yeah,
I think
incredible.
I think futures is a really big missed opportunity and a big missed part of a lot of people's portfolios. And I get it. It sounds like, well, I'm tying up money, for this, but at the end of the year, it adds up, and all those units are so valuable. I am a big fan of futures.
Yeah, and let's talk about that for a second, Andy, because I agree with you conceptually about future bets, but I want to give a suggestion out to all the clients out there about how I bet futures. I have a separate bankroll, and I think that ultimately is the key, because when you buy a stock, your money is tied up. And if you sell that stock, you're going to be paying a capital gain tax. So ultimately, most of us are holding these stocks for longer than 6-month periods. Same with if you buy a commodity, or if you buy gold or silver or rhodium, platinum. Same if you buy crypto. Unless you're day trading, which is insanity to me, unless you're day trading, your money is being tied up for that period of time regardless. So my suggestion to everybody is take about 10% of your betting bankroll, put it aside, and use that for your future bets. Because, yeah, Andy, there clearly is a lot of opportunity in the futures market. And this notion of it holds your money up for an extended period of time, it's just junk. It's just not the right way to think these things. Anyway, let's get into some betting info for tonight. You've got 3 for us, one in the UFC. Tell us how to bet the Rafael versus Jesus fight.
Yeah, Rafael Estevam versus Jesus Aguilera. I'm going to take this over 2.5 rounds. You can take it to go the distance. Rafael Estevam is going to be bigger. He's going to be stronger. He may be a little bit faster. He hasn't fought in almost 1.5 years, but he's got a pretty good ground game. But he made his UFC debut, and he controlled Charles Johnson on the ground for all 3 rounds, but he couldn't get the finish. And then in round 3, started to get a little tired, and it was pretty obvious after the first round he did not have that finishing ability in him. Now we go to Jesus Aguilera. He's like Rudy. He's undersized, but you know what he's got, Prez? He's got that dog in him. He's got that dog in him. We all love, you know what? Here, in honor of Jesus Aguilera, we got that dog in him, Prez. This guy
Wow.
this guy took a short notice fight against Tatsu Taira. He got submitted and he come back and he won 3 UFC fights in a row. Last fight, he was a big underdog against Nickel, the Australian, and he goes in there and he chokes the guy out in the first round. Jesus Aguilera is going to fight for your money. He will not give up. He will not tap to this Rafael Estevam. I think this is going to be a long fight that takes place mostly on the ground, and I don't think Estevam is going to get the finish. I wouldn't be surprised if Jesus Aguilera pushes this guy to the judges and it makes it a really, really close fight. But Estevam is going to have the physical abilities, but Jesus Aguilera, he's got that dog, man. He's got that dog. This guy is going to push this to the limit.
So, Andy, listen, I love the prop, but I really feel like you should have used a she poo or a multi poo. Like, if you're gonna have the dog in you, don't let it be some vicious Cujo. Do like a little lap dog or something.
No, Jesus Aguilera is the. This is my guy. I love Jesus Aguilera.
Okay, there we go. Jesus Aguilera. He's got the dog in him. So is that the dog in him angle?
When you have these guys that are always they're always overachieving for their physical talents, that's a guy that you want to bet overs on, and that's a guy that you want to kind of put your money on. You've got some of these guys in UFC, they have all the physical, abilities in the world, and then they lose to guys that just outwork them and out hustle them. It's like anything in life. Like, you have these guys that are never going to give up, and they're going to be 100% prepared. And even though they might not be as good, they might not be as strong, they might not be as fast, but he's going to push Estevam to the limit. I think this sees the scorecards, and this is a greasy one. Estevam's a big favorite. I would not be betting on him.
Andy, Dan just slacked me a picture of his dog with the statement, "I got the dog in me." His dog was passed out on the bed. Passed out sleeping. Okay. So, Rory McIlroy. I don't think he has the dog in him, Andy. I don't even know what that means, but maybe there's a chihuahua barking somewhere. He's golfing this weekend. What do we do? What do we do with Rory McIlroy?
Well, we hit Hideki Matsuyama. We talked about him over his 72.5 yesterday, and he went over. The weather was awful. I'm going to take Rory McIlroy under 71.5 for his score today. This tees off in a couple hours. Here's the thing, Prez. It was raining yesterday. It was just awful conditions. The weather's a little bit better today. There's no rain. It's touch windy, 10 miles an hour, little bit colder. But the big thing is, course is dried out just a little bit, and he shot 72 yesterday. He had 2 birdies and 2 bogeys. He only hit 50% of fairways. I expect that to be a little bit better today. He only had 1 birdie out of 4 par 5s. I would expect them to get at least 2 today. And he was only 52nd out of 72 players approach to green. I expect that to be a little bit better. And here's the big thing. Preferred lies today. So when they hit the ball and it lands in the mud, they're allowed to pick it up and clean the ball and put the ball back down in the perfect position. It's so lame. It's a lame rule. It's a lame rule. Yeah.
That's not a rule. I do that on every shot. What? You're not
No, you're not. You're not supposed to do that, but they're letting professional golfers do that today. And what a huge advantage. What a huge advantage.
I play with a guy, no names in case he's listening, Darren, who has a golf ball in his pocket, and he cuts a hole in his pocket. Strangely, whenever he hits the ball close to the rough, it's right there. Anyway, right? Yeah, we've got so Rory McIlroy under 71.5 round 2 score. He's going to have a bounce back day, and he's going to find the dog in him. Okay. So we have another golf organization, Live, Joaquin Niemann. You think he's going to have a top 5 finish? I thought there were only like 4 guys in this damn league still.
Well, that's one of the nice things is he's only one shot behind the leader after round one, and it's not an intimidating leaderboard at all. You got Sam Horsfield, Carlos Ortiz, Dustin Johnson, who's given up, and Abraham Answer that's all around him. He's one of the best guys up near the top right now, and he finished third here last year. They only have 2 more rounds. I actually stayed up and watched him play. He looked really good. You can get this at minus 140. Joaquin Neiman is just him and John Rahm, Tyrell Hatton. They're just cream of the crop here. So Neiman got off to a great start yesterday. I expect him to continue that. I think he might be live to win this thing. But top 5 finish at minus 140. Yeah, I don't see him dropping too many shots.
Andy Lang with us, everyone. Dave Mason coming up next. Dan just told me he's ready. And Andy, Dan cannot confirm or deny whether Dave Mason has the dog inside of him. So we will find that out. Now, we have a great Valentine's Day promotion. But before we get into that, I have a group of 7 couples we hang out with religiously. I call them my family, like friend, family anyway. All the guys decided to buy the wives the exact same Valentine's Day present, and we are to videotape giving the present to the wives tonight and then share the video. So this is the present. Are you ready? Like I am not getting action tonight, Andy. Like flat out, dude.
Okay. Are those slippers?
Mop slippers. They are slippers so that they can mop the floor. So
that's great.
I gotta gift wrap them with a card. Like we're doing this seriously, bro.
This is amazing. That is amazing. That is a great gift. I love it. I love it.
I will tweet out her reaction later tonight at Prez WagerTalk. But we do have a Valentine's Day promo, and if I were you guys, I'd use it on Andy Lang. Buy 3 days and get 3 free. It's $69. The $69 3-day all access, one of the best packages we have regularly, and now we're going to add an extra 3 days to it. So please take advantage of that. Andy, it's Friday. What do you got going? And then we got to move on to Dave Mason.
I'm not going to promote anything because Kyle sent me a question from a viewer. So instead of promoting, I'm going to answer a question from someone. The question is, in response to betting player props, would you say it's more profitable going with unders? If you analyze your bets for the last 6 months, is that the scenario? Question. Yeah, I'll thank you in advance for your time and all the free winners you give. What's your thoughts? I had my best NHL season last year when I discovered the beauty of taking players to not have a point. And this goes to a theory that I have in sports betting. It's hard for teams and athletes to be great every single day. It's easy for bad teams and bad players to be bad all the time. It's easier to bet on things to not happen. However, our mindset is we want things to happen. We want good things to happen. So we're more naturally inclined to go for overs. If you want the dopamine rush, you're taking overs. If you want something exciting, you're taking the overs. If you want to make money, you want to build bankrolls, you're looking for unders. Most of my player props that I've been doing are unders. There's very, very few scenarios where I'll take an over, but if I do take an over, I'm looking at low numbers. I'm not looking at the NBA player that's points, rebounds, and assists is like 40. I'm looking at a guy to make 1 or 2 3-pointers. I'm looking at really, really low numbers. The NHL players, I'm looking for guys to not have a point. I'm looking for guys under. When I'm looking at UFC, Prez, I'm looking at fighters to fade. I'm not necessarily looking at fighters to win. Who are the bad fighters that I can bet against? The tough weather in golf, Hideki Matsuyama, I'm looking for bad things to happen. I look at player props kind of like vacations. Yeah. If on your last 5 vacations, how many of them were perfect? None of them. Something always goes a little bit wrong. There are way more scenarios to hit an under than there are in the overs, but it's tough to get in that mindset. But yes, unders, if you commit to just betting unders and you look at players to fade, fighters to fade, golfers to fade, teams to fade, you're going to find that your bankroll is going to grow exponentially.
Mic drop, get out of here. Andy Lang, everybody. One last thing to mention on unders. The great Mark Lawrence told me this. You always start winning. Dave Mason joining us. Dave Mason, you got the dog inside of you? I don't even know what that means, bro.
I did Sunday with that Eagles, man. I'm watching the parade right now, so it's been a fun week being a Philly guy, and I guess I do have the dog inside me, but it's going to go to rest soon. I'm going to go on vacation, so
That's
dog will be sleeping.
well. Listen, you certainly deserve vacation. It's been an insane few months. Let's get in. On a quick Super Bowl recap, really quick. It's behind us. How did you guys do?
We did well. Spread was good, money line good. Props are great. Future, that's the futures need. We need the Eagles. The over hit us at four, the late scoring spree, the garbage touchdowns by KC. But the over was really the only main market we lost, and of course the teasers and parlays associated with that. But overall, it was a very good Super Bowl, and action was through the roof, so it was great.
So let's talk about the season we're in right now. So we're between Super Bowl and March Madness. The month of February, is this a very active month of betting, or are people now sort of pulling back and waiting for the madness to begin?
Yeah, I mean, football's so damn big that there is a pullback. I mean, there's guys that won't be active on the site until next September. Then there's guys who won't be active till March Madness. And then there's guys who just keep betting, who bet more in basketball, but there's definitely a pullback, and there's just no two ways about it. Football is just so damn big that it's a huge numbers game, right? But it's a little kind of I don't want to call it break because basketball's so darn big. But I mean this weekend too. I mean you follow up the Super Bowl with there's no NHL and NBA games, and the NBA also breaks like a darn week now. Back when I was a kid, it was like 3 friggin' days. Now it's a week. So I mean it's time for a few of us to take a quick breather and go on some quick vacations but start preparing for March Madness too. Again, I work more on the marketing side of things. So marketing, you're always looking ahead too, right? It's always about, getting March Madness prepared and everything. So that'll be here before you know it. By the time I get back from vacation and nurse off my hangover, it'll be March Madness.
Guys, if you're liking the show, if you're enjoying the content, please take a second, hit that like button, and subscribe to our channel. 5,000 people away from 200K. Let's do it today. I'm a rhyming machine. Dave Mason, we got cricket coming soon. The ICC championships. Is this a sport Bet Online has any interest in? Because tennis and cricket are, I think, 1 and 2 most bet sports in the world.
Yeah, I mean, we offer it. Sure, we do. But, we're more, even though we're a global book, most of our money's made in North America. So until cricket becomes a big thing in North America, we take action. It's nothing extraordinary, like we're dropping college baseball odds. I think it's opening day today, and we'll do more action on those with smaller limits than we will with cricket. So, I mean, it's there. We offer odds. More the merrier. If you know cricket players, send them our way because we have a good Euro team here that does a great job of hanging some of the more, what we call them ROW, rest of world sports. So we have them. We have great odds, but it's it's just when 95% of our players are from North America.
Well, Dave, I'll say this on air. I know you're going on vacation, but if you can talk one of your cricket experts into coming on and doing a cricket segment before the ICC starts, that would be awesome. If not, no problem at all. Okay, so yeah,
I'll look into that. I'll look into that for you, definitely.
That would be wonderful. Thank you, brother. And I love cricket. I'm obsessed.
Okay.
Anyway, we've got some college basketball tonight. For some strange reason, the NBA and NHL want to go on break at the exact same time. I mean, totally badly organized, but nobody called me. Give us some college hoops bets for tonight or the weekend that you're seeing or hearing.
I'll read off some sharp stuff, and I agree with you. Why not just spread it out? One weekend, one is off, the following week the other. It doesn't make any sense to me, but whatever. Columbia +2, Fairfield +4.5, Siena -1.5, Ohio +5.5, Penn, 17.5 getting, that's sharp. Cornell -6, Nevada -6, Merrimack -2. Has some fights tomorrow too, so I'm going to throw some of those out for UFC. Yusuf Zalal -425, and I'm going to butcher these names. That's for darn sure. Ismail Bonfin -210 or better. Jose Delgado -325 or better. A lot of chalk. Walter Walker -210 or better, and Jacqueline Cavalcanti -555. That's all sharp UFC. Again, a lot of chalk, which is weird because usually UFC is dominated by sharp dog money.
Dave, Andy and I were talking about future bets, and a lot of people don't like tying their money up for an extended period of time. I'm curious from your perspective, if you know offhand what percentage of bets are future bets? I mean, I'm guessing it's very small. And do you have an opinion on the pros and cons of tying your money up for 6 months?
Yeah, that's a good question because I get that a lot. I got people bust my balls on Twitter, like when I tweet out next year's Super Bowl or something like that. But as far as overall percentage, it's very small, right? It's still a ton, but I mean, it's very small in the grand scheme of things. First of all, it depends on your bankroll. Like some people, if you have a good bankroll and you don't mind tying money up, great. But I mean, I look at it too. Like some people just live paycheck to paycheck in this world, and are if you're that kind of person or anything close to that person, don't tie money up. If you can afford to tie money up and you think there's value, great. That's the key. Whether there's value or not. I mean, if you're betting something that's plus 400 and it's going to be plus 400 or maybe plus 425 or plus 375 or whatever come next September, okay. But I mean, there are spots where the odds move big time. So if you're confident you're going to get the best of the number, then bet it if you can afford tying money up that long. I mean, of course they're exaggerated examples, but I mean, Trump back in 2012 or whenever it was, he was like 100 to 1 to win the president. Biden in 2016 was he was like 75 to 1 to win the president. People are like, oh, why would you lock money up for 4 years? Well, that's why. And again, it's an extreme example, but there are good examples in sports. The Bucks a few years ago, they're 33 to 1 and they went off at like 9 to 1.
Leicester City, bro.
Yep, exactly. So, I mean, there's opportunities out there, and it's just like the game odds. The early odds are often the softest. So by kickoff football season, they're going to be the tightest odds because we have more information and we have more bets, more sharps bet it. So, again, if you have the bankroll to tie money up, that's key. If tying up a few bucks isn't a big deal, then do it. If it is, then don't do it. But try to make sure you're getting that value.
There we go. Dave Mason joining us. Dave, last question. The Four Nations Cup is underway. We've already seen 2 overs. Canada won the first game in overtime. The USA blew Finland out. What type of action are you taking on the Four Nations Cup? And have you seen any bets that we should know about?
Let me see. Four Nations. The action is good. It's not great. It's not as good as an NHL game, which is kind of disappointing because they only have 4 games on the board. But the action is good. Well, tomorrow's Canada USA game will get massive action. I'm convinced about that. So the action is good, but I'll have to pay attention. I'm looking at the early action now, and it's kind of nothing great. Most money is on Canada right now. As far as sharps, I don't see anything as of yet for tomorrow's games. But I'll be looking forward to that game. Oh, it's prime time too. Yeah, action will be through the roof for that one. Absolutely.
I agree. It's going to be a hell of a game. Dave Mason, everyone, what do you got to promote?
BetOnline.ag, come on over, man. We have all the sports. Whether you are a cricket bettor, we'd love to have your action. Of course, college basketball, NBA, we open the odds up before just about any other book. High limits and take sharp action. So come on over to betonline.ag.
There we go. Thank you so much, Dave. And I know you won't be with us next Friday. Me and you are going to talk offline about some days coming on. You are, I mean, it's just such a pleasure to have you on the show. You take time out of your week every week for us. Thank you, Dave.
I appreciate it.
Big
Hey,
time
I'll
friend.
hunt down a cricket. I'll try to get one of our cricket guys. I don't even know who the heck our lead cricket guy is. I don't pay attention to it, but I'll find something out.
Yeah, and we should have done the same with the Six Nations, man. Six Nations rugby, so good. Dave Mason, everyone.
All right, guys. Thanks for having me.
Okay, guys, are you ready? Gianni the Greek, the wind. What up, bro?
Never better. Just I've been getting some stocks of late with this group, Prez, that I hooked up with last year when I went to that seminar. Like, I'm talking like really, really solid stuff. These dudes are amazing, man. These dudes are amazing. They're Nancy Pelosi amazing. No lie.
Okay, we're off air right now. It's just me and you. Okay. How do I make money off of this? I'm happy to put 10 grand in an account somewhere.
That's it. And just give me access to it and let me trade. And I'm telling you, within 6 months, you will see the results. They're doing like options into July. They're so ahead of the market. It's ridiculous.
Gianni, again, we're going to the bank. I'm going to the bank today, right after this show. I'm going to get you an account with 10 grand in it, and I will give you access. I'm excited, bro.
I promise you.
Hey, you know I'm a big man. You know I'm a big man. I gave out a 5% play last night. It lost. People are screaming and yelling at me. I will never scream and yell at you, Gianni. I'm asking you to make me money. If you fail, you fail. I'm a big man. I have deep respect for you. Never wear the pressure because
I don't have it. No. I don't have it with you at all. That's why. I know you trust in me, and I'm just going to do what I do. And I believe what we're doing is really, really like rare. And I'd love to share it with you. Absolutely. No pressure at all.
I'm pumped. Okay, listen, a small card. NBA's off. NHL is off. Let's hear what's going on. And maybe you found some stuff with tomorrow as well.
Yeah, here's what we're already on in college basketball. I moved some stuff already. Small board, like you said, but we're already on Columbia plus the 2. We're on the under 131 in Marist and Siena. We took Ohio plus the 6. Rider plus the 6.5. Penn at 17, 16.5, and 15.5. So I don't know if someone's not playing or it's just that revenge for getting blown out by 30 to Yale earlier at home. Also, Merrimack -2 and -2.5. Also, Cornell, which I heard Dave talk about before I came on. Cornell at -6, same number. And then Wright State, Milwaukee over 153. So small board, but again, these aren't the kind of games that are getting a lot of attention from recreational bettors. They're probably looking more so into Saturday, especially with today being Valentine's Day. I'm sure a lot of guys are taking it off saying, I'll enjoy time with my family, with my lady. And since it's a small board, no NBA, no NHL, I'm really not missing anything. So I think those guys are really going to be firing away tomorrow, which is why I'm having the steam room on Saturday. But when you're able to take advantage of some of these prices because of that, that's exactly what we did. So hopefully when the dust settles, we'll turn a little profit today and lead into the weekend up money.
Johnny, does your group do any future betting?
Rare.
One group.
Yes, but they do. It's very rare, Prez, but they do. Like they had bet San Francisco when they were 2-2. Because they just felt there was still value there. They bet the future with before the championship games, and they were wrong. It was Kansas City to beat the Eagles or Buffalo to beat the Eagles, but that gave me a lot of confidence in the Eagles beating Washington on that game in the conference championship. And then we also they bet a women's college basketball future, Texas at plus 1,200 all the way down to plus 10. 1,000 from 10 to 1 all the way up to 12 to 1. They have Texas to win the women's national championship. So they do get involved, which is rare because the hold is so high, because it's pari-mutuel, like the horse track. You bet on one horse, the other horse odds change, and the hold on those is so high. But sometimes the lines are just offer such value. And with futures, you could build enough equity that even if you don't cash the future, you have a way to hedge and make some money, middle and make some money. So they do get involved when these lines are a little bit skewed in one direction or another. And like I said, the one we currently have is Texas. And then in the Frozen Four, we have the USA plus 150. It's going to come down to versus Canada. I think it's a coin toss right now, 110 either way. So you'll see what we do with that.
So I gave a lot of thought to the plus 150 bet because we spoke about it yesterday. And I got to tell you, Gianni, I think it's a good bet. And what it takes into account is that the championship game will actually be in America. It'll be in Boston. And I think that's going to be a big deal. I'm not going to make that type of a bet, but I do think that at plus money, I'd rather.
You can understand why they placed it. You can understand why they placed it. Yeah. Especially since they're coin toss against Canada, which you said arguably is the strongest team on the ice, more or less. And especially when you threw that 25-0 stat, like it's a trend you kind of want to ride, not get in front of.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, it's gonna be incredible hockey. But I just want the NHL to start already. So, guys, we have a promo, and I said to you guys, use this promo on Andy Lang if you like, prop bets. Andy's the man. As far as Gianni goes, both Gianni and I came off of a bit of a rough run in 2024. We've both turned it around. I had a tough night last night, but I will tell you guys one thing. When Gianni releases a 5% play and loses, the next day is incredible. Same with me. I don't know why it works out that way. It's like God laughing at us. It's like, and then you sit there. A friend of mine has a license plate on his car. It says 1 flop too late. That's how it is, dude. It's like you and I are going to sweep. I'm going to sweep tonight, and I'm going to sit there, and I'm going to be like, why wasn't it last night? Damn it. Anyway, guys, we got a great promo. Use it on Gianni The Greek. He's heated up. He's as good a bettor. He's as good a bettor as you'll find. You hear him every day. So if you like parlays and prop bets, Andy Lang is your man. If you want to win straight bets, Gianni The Greek. It's our Love the Action Valentine's Day promo, $69 for 3 days. And we're going to give you guys another 3 days on the house. So that's 6 days for $69. Please take advantage of that. Gianni, I know you are recently free. You know what I mean by that.
Yep.
Currently happy. You know what I mean by that too. What are you doing on Valentine's, my brother?
That really, really, really nice dinner scheduled for at the Eiffel Tower at the Paris place I wanted to get into. I've been wanting to get into Delilah's, but you can't even get it into Delilah's. If you could ever hook that up, Prez, I would love to go when you come to Vegas. That's a spot at Wynn that's amazing. I'm looking out till March, April, and still can't even get in there. And I have some good connects, and it's just almost impossible to get there. But it was hard to get at the Eiffel Tower, but I was able to do that. Going to the art museum first because I absolutely love art. Unfortunately, so does my girl. And bought her some nice things, bought her a couple nice things. So fortunately, she's not a materialistic girl. So any little thing is special. And she's a more like, save the money. Let's buy crypto. Let's invest. Let's stockpile money. So she's not like, it almost disgusts her when I buy her really nice things because she's like, this is ridiculous. Like, I can't believe shoes cost this much or clothes cost this much. We don't need that, babe. We don't need that, babe. That's all she says. I don't need that, babe. So I love it. I love it.
So from an art perspective, I collect Peter Lick. I don't know if you know that, but
yes,
I have
absolutely. Wow.
I have a lot of Peter Lick, and they've all gone up, triple what I paid. But I don't buy that stuff for an investment perspective. I buy that stuff because I bloody well like it. Yep. What else, brother? And then we'll call it a week.
I'm excited for the weekend. Honestly, I'm excited for the college basketball. I'm excited for the UFC card. I have a 5%. I actually was a 4% and I upgraded it, which again, as in this business, you shouldn't do that. If you're going to put the package out early in the week, like I did, and release a play, you should put it in as a 5%. You're going to sell so many more packages, but I'm just not going to fire 5% unless I feel extremely confident. The information came in like more confirmation. I said, I got to upgrade it. And that's what I did yesterday. I upgraded it to a 5% play. I have another 4% and 3% in that as well. And yeah, looking forward to Saturday college basketball. Big board. I got the steam room going Saturday, 12 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be in there about 2 hours, go over every college basketball game. A lot of information comes in that's time sensitive, but those guys that are in there will be getting it. And again, I'm there to answer all the questions. And now, like I about a week and a half, less than 2 weeks away from starting that blackjack seminar. So this coming few weeks and March, as we head into March Madness, no better time to be a sports bettor. And I'm blessed to be able to do what I do. Thank God. And I appreciate all the people that support us and allow us to do what we do. You guys are awesome. Enjoy your Valentine's Day with your loved ones, and take a day off from betting. It's not going to hurt you. It ain't going to kill you. Enjoy. That's why you do it. That's why you try to make money so you can do other things with it. Sometimes step back for a day. Don't even think about the games. Because if you have bets, sometimes, Prez, you're going to worry. Am I winning? Am I losing? Don't let that affect your dinner with your girl. Don't let that affect your time with your family. Unless you could do it and not even look till tomorrow morning. That's why more times than not, I tell my girl, I don't even want to know the score because I don't want to affect how I am with you or how I am, with the rest of the day. I don't want that to affect anything. That's my job. I fire. I trust the process. And sometimes taking a day off and stepping back and enjoying your time with your family, nothing better than that. I wish everyone the best. I truly do. Whether they follow or fade me.
Johnny, I'm going to say this on air. You suck answering your phone.
I'm the worst. I am the worst.
I'm calling you today about the betting the account. Answer your phone.
I will. I promise. I will.
Okay. Dude, I love you, man.
Love you too, brother. Thank you. Enjoy the weekend.
What a freaking fun show, everyone. It started completely off the rails. I thought for a minute I was going to get fired, but alas, I didn't. I'm back. I'm ready. We got a killer lineup for next week. I hope to see you guys all on Monday. Don't forget Kelly Stewart, the great, the talented, will be hosting on Wednesday. Gianni's Steam Room tomorrow. Lots of love. Take care of your wife. You don't need to bet tonight. Take a break. Just enjoy. Make sure to buy those mop slippers. They're going to go over very well. There's not a woman on the planet who would not appreciate mop slippers on Valentine's Day. Oh, my God, I'm going to get in so much trouble tonight. Love you, everyone.